higher than the mountains that I face, stronger than the power of the grave, and it's constant through the trials and the change. One thing remains, one thing remains. Your love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love, oh, your love, your love.
On and on and on and on it goes. It overwhelms and satisfies my soul. And I'll never ever have to be afraid, 'cause this one thing remains. One thing remains.
Your love never fails,
never
gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love, your love, 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 your love. On and on and on and on and on it goes. It overwhelms and satisfies my soul. And I never ever have to be afraid. 'Cause one thing, I know one thing remains. One thing remains. Your love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, it never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love, no, no, your love. It never gives up, never gives out, never gives up on me. Oh, never gives up, never gives out, never, never. Never gives up, never gives out, never runs out on me. No, your love, love,
fill
love.
me up with love.
Oh, your love,
Fill me up with love.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Palo Alto, to our Sunday celebration service. It's always a pleasure to see you here this morning, whether in person or joining us online. For those of you who have been coming regularly, you will know that I am not the Reverend John Riley. My name is Rusty Gaillard, and I am going to be leading the service today. Our normal leader of our spiritual community, Reverend John Riley, is taking the day off. Much deserved break. So if you are new, you just got a little piece of information about what's going on here today. But another piece of information I want to share is that Unity is part of a global spiritual community. So what we're doing right here in Palo Alto is happening all around the world at the same time, teaching positive, practical spiritual principles to help you live a more joyful and abundant life. Wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Whether you are someone who has been going to another spiritual community and you're looking for a change, whether you don't have any kind of spiritual background and you're here for the first time, whether everything in your life is going so well or whether you're facing challenges in your life, wherever you are on that journey, you are welcome. We are very grateful today to have Lisa Whitfield as our platform leader. And of course, the wonderful Margot Leduc as our soloist. Russell Norman on piano and Ronnie Beck on drums. So I invite you now to stand for our opening song.
All right, here we go. I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one in the spirit all around me. I'm grateful, so thankful. I trust in God. I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. All right, are you guys ready to open and receive? Here we go. I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening to the spirit of love. I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening to the spirit of love. Let the love flow through me. 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 I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening to the spirit of love. I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening to the spirit of love. I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening to the spirit of love.
Woo, yes, yes, we can clap. get a place. Good morning, Unity Palo Alto. I am Lisa Whitfield. It's great to be here with everyone in the sanctuary, with everyone joining us online. It's a beautiful day out there. And as Reverend John would say, in your consciousness. Am I right? As Rusty said, we are part of a global spiritual movement. We are walking on this spiritual journey with people from all over the planet. Do you need a passport? Yes, you do. You might already have the passport because you know what it is? It's our 5 principles. If you're new to Unity, you can find those 5 principles on the welcome card in the pew in front of you and follow along as I guide you through them. Starting with our first principle, God is. There is only one power and one presence active in the universe and in our lives, God, the good omnipotence. You don't need any other power, there's only one. And not only is there only one, we're not separate from that one power. We are swimming in it. We are that power. That's our second principle, I am. God is the substance and intelligence innate in every person and in all creation. Our third principle is the law of mind action, which means thoughts in mind produce after their kind. We can use our thoughts to channel that energy toward the positive. We can also get hung up on stories having to do with the negative, right? So we want to just observe that. If you're having trouble observing, you know what'll help? Our fourth principle, which is meditation and affirmative prayer. It's through meditation and affirmative prayer that we can connect with that creative, constructive power of God to live in, through, and as us. The fifth principle and the secret sauce of unity is daily practice. As we live according to these truths every day, that's how we connect with the divine that's in us, and life gets better. Now, a little story, because you know I like to have a little story every time I'm up here. I heard about a program recently through Columbia University called The Body Electric. And they're trying to get people to get up when you're at work, sitting down, or at home. They're trying to get people to get up for 5 minutes an hour and walk around, dance at your desk, and that this really helps with physical fitness and longevity. So if you're doing 5 minutes of physical activity, maybe you could do 5 minutes of spiritual activity, right? Little meditation, walk around, feel that presence, feel that oneness. Wouldn't that be great if we could not only be physically fit, but spiritually fit? When we put all these 5 principles together, that's what helps us to live our vision statement here at Unity Palo Alto. And I'd like to invite you to affirm it with me. Together, centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all. And so it is.
Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of your Spirit. Your Spirit. Holy Spirit, lead me, Spirit. Holy
And now our reading from today's daily word. Today's daily word is appreciation. I'll read the affirmation and then invite you to affirm it with me. I appreciate the good in my life. Together, I appreciate the good in my life. When someone admires my efforts or thanks me for something helpful I've done, I'm happy to know I have blessed them. Recognizing how good it feels to be appreciated, I remember to express my gratitude and appreciation to the people who have blessed me. I appreciate my friends and family by nurturing those relationships. I appreciate my community by being a responsible citizen. I appreciate the natural beauty of the world by caring for it and taking time to enjoy it. The people, the places, and the things I appreciate become more precious to me as I discover that each reflects God's presence and God's activity in a uniquely beautiful way. I am grateful to have so much to appreciate. This is from Romans chapter 12, verse 10. Love one another with mutual affection. Outdo one another in showing honor.
I'm tired of the guilt that brings me pain. Now's the time for me to let go of the shame. The past behind me, I see anew. Yes, I'm ready for my change. Oh, yes, I am. I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. Oh, I surrender. Yes, I'm ready for my change. Oh, yes, I am. I'm ready for my change. I forgive them. I forgive them. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. Yes, I do. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I forgive them. I forgive them. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready.
Oh, thank you, Margot and Russell and Ronnie. Well, I thought I would just start by just cutting right to the chase with you here this morning. I don't want to beat around the bush. I'm just going to come out and tell you. I'm an aggressive driver. Yeah, I'm the one, I know. So I'm not particularly proud of this, but if you put me behind the wheel, I like to get where I'm going as quickly as possible. Well, I'm the kind of person that will change lanes to go around someone who's not driving as quickly as I want to go. And yes, I do often drive slightly above the speed limit. But you know, it's just kind of how I came to be a driver. Honestly, I came by this kind of naturally. My mom was the person who primarily taught me to drive, and she grew up in Boston. And, okay, well, so I thought I might need to say that Boston kind of has a reputation for aggressive drivers, but maybe some of you know that already. My mom learned to drive in Boston, became an aggressive driver, and I learned from my mom. In fact, she had one primary phrase that she used with me when I was learning to drive. It was this. No, not just faster. Her phrase was, "He who hesitates is lost." So when you're at a four-way intersection, when you're changing lanes, you just gotta go for it. And that's the approach that I've taken to driving, almost like it's a competition. When there's traffic, it's can I get through that traffic and get to the front of the line and then get that clear, open road in front of me. Now, hopefully you don't all relate to driving the way I'm describing it. But there's a way in which driving that way can be a metaphor for the way that we approach our lives. Oftentimes in life, we encounter a traffic jam, or a closed road, or construction, or a detour. One of these things that stands in the way of the clear, open road. That sense of freedom and possibility and ease of life that we all want in our day-to-day life. The question is, what do we do when we encounter the traffic jam? So when I'm in the traffic jam, I've got some degree of resistance and some impatience, and I'm trying to navigate my way through it, and I don't like it, and I'm frustrated by the fact that there's a slow driver in front of me. Can any of you relate to that experience in life? No. Not at all. It may not be in driving, but it can be in a difficult relationship that you may be navigating. It could be a health challenge. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be a challenge in your work. We all have things that show up in our lives from time to time that are difficult. And the question is, what do we do when we encounter those traffic jams of life? Do we resist them and try to navigate them and get around them and manage them as quickly as we can? Many of us do. And yet in that comes this sense of impatience. When am I going to be done with this thing that is hard? When will I get that free and open road in front of me so that I can finally drive unencumbered? If you're familiar with Buddhism at all, you may have heard the first noble truth that the Buddha said, which is often translated as life is suffering. I've heard people say that's not a very good translation, actually, of that first noble truth. Because life is suffering sounds pretty dismal. Very much in contrast to our first principle at Unity that Lisa shared earlier, which is that there is only one presence and one power, and it's God, the good omnipotent, here, everywhere around us all the time. Perhaps a more appropriate translation of that first principle that the Buddha shared is not that life is inherently suffering, but that because of the way we respond to life, we suffer. When we find ourselves in a traffic jam, when we're trying to navigate it and get around it and deal with the challenges that are there in front of us, we become so focused on that challenge that we resist it. We might resent it. We might want it to be over. And in that response to the challenges of life is where we find suffering. But the suffering arises because of the wants and the likes and the dislikes that we have in our life. And if you take a step back from this whole sense of what you want more of and what you want less of in life, and you observe, where does that come from? There are certain common shared things that none of us wants. For example, if you were to drop a hammer and it landed on your toe, I think most people in this room would say, no, I don't want that to happen. That's going to hurt. But there are a whole range of other preferences that we hold that are not universal. Do you like dogs or do you like cats? Both, see, but there's differences. When you have time off, would you rather go somewhere on an adventure and have a new experience? Or would you rather stay at home and relax and do something that's comfortable? Do you like a variety of the foods that you eat, or do you have a pretty consistent meal that you like to go back to because it's familiar and comfortable for you? There's no right or wrong to any of one of these things. And in fact, psychologists would say that we are the result of the sum experiences of our lives. Which makes sense. If any of you have seen a baby, a brand new newborn, they have no deliberate control of their limbs, right? A brand new newborn can do almost nothing. And yet, the brain is formed and shaped by our environment from those very early days all the way up to today. And what we have in our brain is the accumulation of our life experiences. The things that we've experienced that felt good, the things that we experienced that did not feel good, and that has become our preferences. So whether it's dogs or cats or staying at home or having adventure or somewhere in the middle, our preference for what we want in life is the accumulation of our life experience. It is unique to us, like our fingerprint. And yet we spend so much of our lives trying to create that and trying to get it, which is natural. We all want to be comfortable. We all want to be happy. We all want that sense of pleasure. And yet it's unique and somewhat arbitrary based on the life experience that we've had. And so we spend all of this time and energy trying to shape our lives to get this somewhat arbitrary life experience. And when it doesn't happen, what do we have? We have some frustration, some disappointment, some impatience, some suffering, if you would use that word. Because we're not getting the things we want, and we're getting the things that we don't want. Now, one of the other biological characteristics of the way our brain works is that when there is a problem in our lives, we focus on it. This is truly biological in nature, because if you go back thousands of years, if you were being chased by a tiger, you don't want to pause and admire the beautiful sunset. You want to be focused on the threat. You want to focus on that threat and deal with it. And so if you actually observe the eye and the brain, it literally focuses down, and you cannot see as much going on around you because you're just focused on that threat or that challenge. That is a biological response. 1,000 years ago, that was a very helpful response because it helped you escape a tiger, which may end your life. Today, that same response applies, but we're rarely chased by tigers. We're dealing with threats that feel like a threat, but are not truly life-threatening in the same way. And yet, we focus in on that threat. And when we focus on that threat, as Lisa shared in the principles earlier, our third principle is the law of mind action, which is we get to shape our world by our attention and by our thoughts. And when we're focused on the threat, what are we creating? We're creating the threat, we're creating suffering, we're creating anxiety, resistance, stress, all of these negative feelings, which we don't want in our life. And yet it's natural because that is that biological response to say, this is going on and I'm going to focus on it. One of the ways that we can deal with that is to zoom out. Imagine for a moment that you were in a theater and all of the lights were down in the theater, and so it was totally dark and you can't see anything on the stage. And then a spotlight comes on, and the spotlight illuminates just one area of that stage. And what's going on in that area of the stage is conflict. You're in a theater, all you see, because of the way the lights are shining, is conflict. That's all you see. Now imagine for a moment that the spotlight starts to expand in scope and illuminate more of what's going on the stage. And all of a sudden you can see that that's not the only thing happening. There are other people on the stage. There are other actions happening. And as the light continues to expand further and further and further, you can start to see that there's so much more happening than just the conflict that you saw initially in the focus of that spotlight. We can do that same thing in our own lives. As a simple example, I invite you to just try this as an experiment with me right now. For those of you, whether you're here in person or whether you're watching online, most likely the center of your focus, if your eyes are open and you're looking, it's most likely at me, because I'm the person who's standing here and speaking. But allow for a moment, without changing your focus, without moving the spotlight somewhere else in the room or somewhere else, keep me as your center of attention, but allow your field of vision to expand. And notice what else you can see as you're looking out. You can still have me in the center of your focus, but all of a sudden you might notice the candle or the flowers behind me. You might even notice flowers on the side of the stage, if you can see those in person. You might see light coming in from above or from the windows. You might notice other people here in the room. You might even notice the weight of your body sitting in the seat. All of these things are happening at the same time that you're looking at me and you're listening to what I'm saying. That is the experience of broadening out that spotlight from the focal point to something bigger. How can you apply that same principle in your life? Well, when you run into a traffic jam, which we all do, find ourselves in the traffic jam, how can you zoom out to see a bigger picture? Well, one way you can do that is, instead of focusing just on the problem at hand, consider all the other things happening in your life at that moment. Even when, let's just take a hypothetical example, like you've got a difficult relationship that you're dealing with, whether that's a family member or someone you work with. Let's just say you've got a difficult relationship and someone has disappointed you. It's so easy to focus on that disappointment and feel a sense of anger or frustration with that person, and even wonder, how am I going to deal with this? What will I say? How will I handle myself next time I see this person? Those thoughts can become so dominant, just like they're the focal point of the spotlight. But allow that light to expand and zoom out. When you zoom out, you start to realize there is much more going on in your life than just that one thing. For those of you who are watching this either in person or online on a Sunday morning, perhaps you had a meal this morning, or you had a cup of coffee as you started your day. Perhaps you looked out the window or you traveled outside and you noticed that it's sunny out here in California. Perhaps you listened to something inspirational, some music or something on the radio or some kind of podcast. You have had all these other experiences that are going on at the same time as this one point of frustration. And if you continue to zoom out, you can zoom out even further to notice that this is just one day. And if we are fortunate, we might live 100 years. And this is one day out of 100 years of your life. And how much will happen in that 100 years of your life? How rich of an experience, how many varieties of experiences have you had over the course of 100 years of your life? And how important is this one conflict when you see it in that much broader perspective? And you can zoom out even further from that, outside of your own life, if you think about the fact that the earth is 4.5 billion years old. Our lives of 100 years are a very small portion of 4.5 billion years old, billion years that the earth is old. And you can go even further, because the earth is circling our sun, and there are something like 200 million stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. And there are 2 trillion galaxies, is the latest estimate, in the universe. I'm having this difficult relationship with this person in my life. I'm having a conflict. But when you can zoom out and zoom out and zoom out to this sense of the mass expanse of life that is going on, it is hard not to start to appreciate that first principle that we shared earlier, that there is one power and one presence active in this universe, God the good omnipotent. Whether you call it God or goodness or life or creativity or abundance, there are so many words you can put on that principle. But there is something much bigger happening in this world, in every moment of every day. I say this not to diminish or say that the conflicts that you have in your life are not important. They are. But two things can be true at the same time. You can have this difficulty in your life, and you can zoom out at the same time and recognize that there is something amazing going on around us every day. And it's not just around us, because you are a part of it. You woke up this morning, you're alive, you're breathing, your eyes are open. And you are experiencing today this miracle of life. And when you zoom out, you can experience not only the majesty of your own life and all of the beauty that is happening in your life, even in the midst of difficulty, but you can experience and appreciate the beauty that you have seen in your whole life over many, many years, and the amazing things happening far beyond what we can even comprehend as we think about 2 trillion galaxies in the universe. Something that most of us can't stretch our mind quite big enough to take in. There's something so much bigger than us happening in every moment of every day. And that could be a nice counterbalance to the challenges that we face. So we can hold both of these things as true at the same time. Yes, we have challenges. And yes, we will do our best to navigate those challenges. We will change lanes. We will speed up. We will make adjustments to try to navigate the difficult traffic jams of our lives. And at the same time, we can recognize that we are okay in the midst of it, because we are part of something so much greater than we are. I actually have had this experience driving. I've already labeled myself as an impatient driver. The cat's out of the bag. But I've had that experience where I've been driving and that impatience comes up, and at the same time I feel impatient, I'm watching myself feel impatient in the context of something so much bigger going on in this world. And I can see both things. And when I can see both things, I can see the impatience and I can see the amazing experience of life that I'm having at this very moment. It gives me a choice. Thoughts and mind produce after their kind. Am I going to remember those first 2 principles? That there is one presence and one power active everywhere all around me, and I am part of that experience. Do I remember that? Or am I zoomed in like the spotlight, focused on the problems of my life? And when I can see both at the same time, it's like the lights have come up in the theater. And I recognize, sure, that problem is happening on that part of the stage, but there is a whole stage here. And I don't have to be consumed just by that one problem. 2 things can be true at the same time. And when we remember that, we have the opportunity to practice gratitude. Because even in the midst of a difficult situation, you can still be grateful. And there's a difference between being grateful for an experience and being grateful in an experience. You may not be grateful for the traffic jams of your life. Sure, in the grand scheme of things, you may learn and grow as a result of those difficulties. But it's hard to be grateful for challenges in your life when you're in the midst of it. But you can still be grateful in the midst of it. And how do you do that? You have to zoom out. Zoom out to recognize there is so much to this life. There's so much more than this day, than this moment. There's so much more than our own personal experience in this particular moment. When we zoom out, we have wonderful things happening, including just the miracle of being alive. So that is a practice of gratitude that we can experience as we learn to zoom out. And when we do this, all of a sudden, it puts our challenges in perspective. Those things that just consume our life, oh my gosh, I have this thing going on in my life, it's all I can focus on in this moment. I'm in a traffic jam. I want to break free. I want to get out of it. I want to get around the slow car and get to the front so I have free open road in front of me. You can still want that, and yet you can appreciate the goodness of life at the same time. Ethan, will you put our affirmation on the screen for me? Thank you. I'm going to just share this. I'll read the affirmation first myself, and then I'll invite you to say it with me. As I widen my perspective, I see Spirit all around me, and I am grateful. Will you say that together with me? As I widen my perspective, I see Spirit all around me, and I am grateful. And so it is. Let's take this idea of zooming out, of seeing Spirit around us and being grateful for that presence into a time of meditation and prayer. I invite you to take a nice deep cleansing breath, and if you're comfortable to close your eyes or soften your gaze, and settle into your seat. Expand your awareness. Zoom out from any thoughts that you may have at the moment, and notice your sensory experience in this moment. Feel the weight of your body supported by the seat that you're in. Feel your feet on the floor. You can even notice the feel of your clothing against your body. Listen to the sounds that you hear of music, of voices, sometimes of the spring birds singing. And zoom out from this place, even beyond your own sensory experience, to take in the energy of this moment, the very energy of life that causes your heart to beat, your lungs to function, and all of the millions of cellular reactions happening inside your body at this moment over which we have no control. It is a gift of life itself. And when we recognize this amazing experience of life that we have in this very moment, allow yourself to feel grateful. And let that sense of gratitude expand from your heart center to fill your whole body. Let your attention rest gently on that glowing energy of warmth and gratitude and love as it fills you up and radiates outward from you. Sense of gratitude for the wonder of life, for the richness experience. Gratitude in the midst of challenges. Even as there are difficulties and traffic jams in your life, notice that both can be true. You can have challenges and still feel vibrantly grateful as you recall all the good in your life and the good of life. And take a deep breath and rest for a moment in gratitude for the stillness and silence. As we rest together in this place of gratitude, notice that your energy connects with the energy of everyone here that is part of the Unity community. and allow that energy to expand, to fill this space, reaching out to those who are part of our community virtually, whether in person or at a time later in the week. Knowing that your energy combines with and amplifies and expands by being part of this community. That we all spiritually hold hands together and celebrate the beauty of life, of love, of creation, of abundance, of spirit operating in and through and as us every day. And we take a moment now to bring to mind anyone for whom we hold special prayers. And we hold them in this place of love and gratitude, seeing their spiritual wholeness and celebrating the same light of life, love, creativity, abundance, and beauty of spirit in each one of them. We hold that same thought for everyone in all the names and prayers in our prayer chest, and for all the people impacted by violence and wars and conflict and struggle everywhere around the world. We hold the same prayer for all of our leaders around the world and in our country, the federal, state, and local level, seeing them making positive, good decisions out from a place of spirit and life and abundance. And with a sense of gratitude, we sing the Alleluia.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
I invite you now with a deep cleansing breath to return your attention to this time. And I'd like to share a brief announcement that Marge Harris, who's been a long time participant or member here at Unity, made her transition this past Monday. There will be a celebration of life for her on April 26th at 1 p.m., and it will be held at the First Congregational Church in Palo Alto, which is at the corner of Middlefield and Embarcadero. In this spirit of recognition that there is so much in life, I'm sorry, I'm getting a... Lewis and Embarcadero. Okay, sorry, I had the streets wrong, but it's the First Congregational Church of Palo Alto. In this spirit of recognition and celebration of life and the beauty of life, let's just take a moment of silence for Marge, for her husband French, and for all of her family and community. Amen. Unity Palo Alto is here to help each one of us live a more joyful and abundant life. It's an opportunity to discover your spiritual magnificence and live your best self every day. We are Unity Palo Alto, as a matter of fact. It is us. It is the people in this room who are watching online, participating live today on Sunday or any time during the week. We are this community, and we are the ones that bring it to life and share the good news in the world. If you would like to support Unity Palo Alto, there are many ways to do that through your time, through your energy, through your financial resources. If you would like to give a gift of love, if you are here in the sanctuary, we have a silver box by this front entrance and also at the back of the sanctuary. You can deposit a love offering there. You can make a donation online. There's a QR code that you can scan in the pew in front of you, and if you're online, there's a donate button. You just click on that donate button. But however you give, in whatever manner you give, It is really more of a question about the energy and the spirit that you bring to that gift. So we have an affirmation that we like to say. It is on the screen behind me, and I invite you to all say it with me together. Divine love from me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine His light. Yes, God needs us to shine His light. Oh, God needs us to shine His light. As He use me. Oh, God, I stand for you, and here on the fire as you show me all that I must do. Show me, yeah. Show me, Lord. Show me, Lord. Show me what I gotta do, yeah. Use me, Lord. Use me, Lord. Use me, oh. Use me, use me, use me, oh, Lord.
Woo! Yes, let's have a hand for the band. I mean, this is church, people. This is church. Are we lucky or what? Talk about gratitude. I'm verklempt. Are you feeling it? You feel the energy? Yes. Let's take this moment to stand up. Come on, you need a little seventh inning stretch. You know you do. I would like to invite you to turn to the center aisle. We're going to take this moment to take that good vibe, to take that energy, and throw it back to the people across the aisle. We have a blessing that we say that's on the screen. Take a quick look. You know it, you love it. Are you ready? Warm up those hands. Together, I love you, I bless you, I appreciate you, and I behold the light in you. Oh, yeah. Oh, you may be seated. Well, if that wasn't enough, I have other things to tell you about that are going on here at Unity during the week, starting with right after the service today. Oh, sorry, skipped it. How could I forget this? I'm holding this piece of paper because pick-up parties are coming back. Woo! We love pick-up parties. If you do not know what a pick-up party is, if you are new to Unity, this is a way to not only do a little bit of fundraising to support our spiritual community, but really to have fun and connect with each other outside of service. So if you have an idea for a pick-a-party, you have a talent that you can share, maybe you know how to teach art or how to teach something special to cook, maybe you have a timeshare that you could have a pick-a-party for, maybe you have a dinner party. We're looking for your ideas, people, is what I'm saying, okay? So if you've got an idea, you want to submit your pick-a-party idea by May 5th. These lovely forms are available in the bookstore. Go see Alice after the service. You can fill out a form with your idea for a pick-a-party. So let's get going. Let's get the ideas on the table. Next, right after service, this is what I was going to say before. We are having Write Your Story. If you got some creative juices flowing and you just want to share them with someone else to get some inspiration to write your story, this is happening the third Sunday of every month. It is on Zoom, and so today is the third Sunday of the month. You can join them at 11:30 right after the service to do that. Next, we have lunch brunch. Lunch brunch is the fourth Sunday of the month, so not today, but next Sunday. If you're looking for a way to connect after the service, our very own lovely and talented June Riley, wave to the folks, June. Couldn't be a more welcoming and fun person to lead these lunch brunches. It's a good way to get to know other people because it's super low pressure. June has icebreakers and topics, so you can just show up and she will guide you through that process. So those are all the things going on, and you can find more about these things on our website and all our social media channels. There are so many ways to share the good news. That is Unity Palo Alto. If you are new to Unity, we want to extend a special welcome to you, and we've started doing this in a new and super cool way, which is we would like to invite you to we will donate, I should say, on your behalf to a charity of your choice. So if you're new to Unity and you'd like to participate in that, there's a card in front of you that says Connect. There's a QR code on that. You can sign up there, or you can take it to the bookstore after service. We'll send you a list of charities, and we will make a donation to the one that you select. Here at Unity, we share our abundance with lots of organizations in the surrounding community, and so this is our way of welcoming you and folding you into that process. Finally, I would like to ask our prayer chaplains to stand. There's Sarah Ann. Sarah Ann is holding it for us today. So if you are in need of prayer, if you want someone to hold sacred space with you, to lovingly listen, Sarah Ann is going to be here in the sanctuary right where she's standing. Please see her if you're in need of prayer or you just want to celebrate or share something. Thank you, Sarah Ann. And finally, what's it time for? What do we do? What's the last thing? The peace song! I would like to invite you to stand.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous smile. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now for our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a wonderful week, everyone.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. Yeah. I'm gonna trust in God, yeah. I'm grateful, thankful. I trust in God. Yeah. Okay.